As does every hockey season, everyone seems to present itself with players that become, for various reasons, unhappy with their surroundings. 2021 has been unusual in the hockey world, as we already witnessed a massive switch that involved two disgruntled players in Pierre-Luc Dubois and Patrick Laine changing places. In this video, I'm going to address the two most recent players that have outwardly expressed their intent to move elsewhere, in hopes of being moved. And with that, here are the NHL's top two disgruntled players and where they may end up. Around the same time as the D'Angelo drama was unfolding in New York, Sam Bennett's name began to circulate in rumor mills, as the forward had, per his agent, Darren Ferris, submitted a trade request. What was truly surprising to me was Bennett winning out, as I can remember how effective he was for the Flames last postseason with 8 points in 10 games played, and 5 goals, mind you, and Calgary seemed to just be the perfect fit outwardly for the former 4th overall pick. And really, getting up into a top 6 role after returning from injury looked like a really good sign for number 93. That things were going well, considering his role in the team. But soon after, rumors of his trade request reached the team. Coincidentally or not, the forward was scratched once in early February and then demoted down to the bottom 6. Most recently, Flames GM Brad Treliving decided to address and subtly confirm Bennett's wishes, while saying, "A few weeks ago, I think we all saw Sam's agent decided to have a conversation with the media in talking about changes of scenery and all that. We'll determine whether it be Sam Bennett or somebody else, what their scenery is and when it's going to change. Until that time, Sam is a member of the Calgary Flames. He's like every other member of the Calgary Flames. We think Sam is a hell of a player and we expect him to be a real good player here. And we'll go from there," he says. So obviously the intent here was to remind the player that he's not going to dictate his near future. Instead, the organization will be doing that for him, which is kinda demeaning, but true. But yet again, for a Battle of Alberta game, Bennett was made to sit for most of the contest. Therefore, just as we saw with Pierre-Luc Dubois minus the theatrics, as the pattern goes, this could be Bennett's very last game as a Flame. Therefore, moving him may not be too difficult, as he's on his final contract year with a 2.55 AAV. Bennett, who would be a perfect asset for a team looking to bolster their bottom 6, more importantly, to find a 3rd or even 4th centerman. One team that definitely does stand out here is the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's no secret that the Leafs are in win now mode, and for good reason. But knowing that Dubas is not only fond of bringing in hometown guys, but also adding grit these days to the lineup, trading for Bennett could be mutually beneficial for both parties involved.
Is there a lineage there in your family with athleticism?
No hockey, anything like that. Just taking me to the Penguin games and watching the Penguin games.
No, I know you've been back a few times and we've had this conversation, but does it still resonate with you to be able to play in front of your hometown fans who go back to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, obviously the first time you're there, the first time you do it's obviously the best. But yeah, it's been better the last 2 times. Obviously, it's better when you go in there and you have a good effort.
Ranked as the top North American goalie coming into the 2011 draft, John Gibson showed much promise coming into the NHL, as he routinely has been known as one of the best netminders the league has currently in the crease. Therefore, throughout his career, despite being on an inconsistent team at best for most of it, Gibson has still delivered. But playing season upon season for a team that's nowhere near being a cup contender can really wear on you. Just ask Jack Eichel. Anyways, now a decade after his draft year, John Gibson has reportedly, according to multiple sources, expressed a desire to be moved. And after having conflicting views on where the organization is headed, per reports, the goaltender wants to take his stellar play elsewhere, most likely to a cup contender. Now, while you may be asking yourself, but Alyssa, Pittsburgh is not a true cup contender this season, let's be real. Well, considering the fact that Gibson is a Steel City native, might be a real incentive here. As Ron Hextall has now taken the reins as GM, it's a real possibility that he and Brian Burke could be trying to retool a team that's still promising on paper, while addressing its biggest obvious need in goaltending. Yes, while Tristan Jarry has had some good games, at times he seemed to struggle with fully embracing the starter role, and that's where Gibson would fit in perfectly. Though, obviously both teams don't have a lot of cap space to work with, therefore, if it happened, Pittsburgh would definitely be giving up one of their good pieces in order to bring number 36 home and possibly secure one last championship sometime during the Crosby and Malkin era.